Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be some summer book recommendations from me to you. The books you need to read this summer, basically. And the lighting is a little bit wonky right now because it is nighttime. Usually I film during the day. And also it's storming right now, so it's got some weird yellow sky, which kind of freaks me out. See what I mean? It doesn't show up as freaky on camera. Enough jibber jabber, let's get right into this. Because if I don't, we're going to be here all night. These are in no particular order, but basically we're covering different genres, nonfiction, only one nonfiction, so don't click off, it's mainly fiction. But yeah, fantasy, romance, romantasy, one nonfiction, literary fiction, mystery, anything you can think of, we got it. But yeah, let's get right into it. So at the top of my stack, we have the When in Rome series, which is probably my favorite romance series of all time. So this series is a small town romance series, and each book follows a different sibling, and it is so good. So first book, When in Rome, follows the brother Noah, the only brother, and Amelia, who is a pop star, and she is kind of taking some time away from being famous and everything, so she goes to this little small town called Rome to kind of get away, and she meets Noah. So good. He has a pie shop. Hence the cover. Second book follows the sister Annie and Amelia's bodyguard. And basically, she's never really had a relationship. She wants a relationship. Will, he's going to teach her how to have a relationship. My second favorite of the series. Also, this cover is gorgeous. She owns a flower shop. Third book, this is my favorite of the series. This follows the oldest sister, Emily, and then Jack. They are rival teachers. They've not liked each other since college. They've been rivals since college. He ends up moving in next door to her. So good. Then the last book follows the youngest sister, Madison, and she's having a hard time in college becoming a chef. And she comes back to town and starts working at this restaurant at her family friend's farm, James. That was really good too. But yeah, so the When in Rome series, 100% recommend. Such cutesy, summery, small town, romancy vibes. Pick this up. And then the one and only nonfiction, Rookie by Joshua Bassett. This is his memoir, self-help book. So good. I read it in 2 sittings. So quick because it's written, it's not poems, there's some poems, but there's not many words on each page, so it goes really, really fast. And I love Joshua Bassett. I don't know if you know this about me, but we got some Joshua Bassett posters on my wall, so you can pick them out. I went to his concert in 2024. He touched my hand. We made eye contact. He smiled at me. I smiled at him. It was a stellar experience. And I think about it very, very often. So yeah, when he announced he had a book coming out, I'm like, I'm a reader, and Joshua Bassett is releasing a book. What is life? So yeah, I love his music, I love him, and it was really cool to get some more information about his life and some, like, inspiration for your own life in this. So, very good book. So I do recommend you picking this up whether you know who Joshua Bassett is or you don't, because it's very good either way. Okay, we brought in some reinforcements. A light, because the sun is actually starting to go down now. Then, next we have Chantel Dio's book, which is my good author friend. This is her second book. Her first book my mom is currently reading, so I don't have that one. But the first one is Right Where They Belong, and then this one is Not What They Expected, and they both follow different characters in this fictional small town in Ohio. And I like the second one more, but the first one is equally a great story. The first book is Marcus and Corinne finding each other, and Marcus finding Jesus, and so coming to faith. And then Not What They Expected is also a story kind of like that, Thomas and Elizabeth, and it's them finding themselves, becoming the best versions of themselves, and then finding each other as well. And it's so good, and her husband painted this cover, which is so gorgeous. I definitely recommend these. They're so good. They're so much more than a romance book. They're so complex and just beautiful, and I really recommend you get these. Moving on, we have my queen, Kale Walther. I own 3 more of her books. These are the only 2 that I feel are summery, besides We're a Bad Idea, Right? And Summer of Second Chances. But first off, we're going to recommend these. So, The Summer Broken Rules, the ultimate summer book. If you take one recommendation from this video, please take this one. Please, 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 please take this one. I have read this twice. I read it the first time and I was like, decent romance book, I reread it last summer with my friend Violet. The most exceptional piece of literature I've ever laid eyes on. And we're planning on rereading it the first week of June yet again. So this book is so good. It's got grief. It battles grief. It's romance. It's so good. I don't know how to say like what it's about because there's so much. But this follows Meredith basically, and Meredith lost her sister very tragically, and it's her first time going back to her family's part of Martha's Vineyard since her sister passed away, and so it's her first time going back for a family wedding, and she happens to meet one of the groomsmen, which is Whit, and it's them falling in love basically, and like working through all their problems, and it's so good. And they're playing assassin with like squirt guns and stuff. That every year they would play assassin, Meredith's family, and so they're doing it at the wedding, and it's so good. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to read. I said so fun to watch because it's literally like a movie in my head, but so Rook and Rolls. And then this just came out, Summer Second Chances, which follows they go back to Martha's Vineyard. You really need to read the Summer Broken Rolls, then read A First Time for Everything, then read While We're Young. This is the Ferris Bueller's Day Off retelling. If you don't know what that is, watch that movie and then read this. So good. And then read The Summer Second Chances and We're a Bad Idea Right. All Kale Walters books are interconnected. I love that. I could do a whole video on how to read Kale Walters books, but we're not going to do that today. But Summer Second Chances, they're back to Martha's Vineyard. Different characters, but they're characters from the other books. It's all interwoven. It's so good, guys. Please read Kale Walters books. You won't regret it. Then we have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a very complex story. It's literary fiction. It follows a band in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, and it's told through interview style, so you get everybody's point of view, kind of. It's them being interviewed about what happened back in the day, why the band split up after being together for so long, and I loved it. I was kind of doubtful that I was going to like it because I'm not a big literary fiction girl. I like to have a lot going on in my books, and sometimes with literary fiction you don't get that. This was not the case. Yeah, I love it. It was really good. Just seeing the 70s written on page was really cool, and I, for the first half of this book, was convinced that they were a real band, and I was looking it up, and Google was telling me all about them. I'm like, this is a real band, so I was quite disappointed to find out they were not. But yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six, read it. This is the ultimate summer book, Float by Kate Merchant. I'm thinking about rereading this summer, but also I have so many new summer books that I want to read, so I probably won't, but I cherish this book with my whole heart. So good. I wish I could go back and read this for the first time again. It was exceptional. I buddy read this with my friend Claire and Abby, and just the experience was lethal. Look it. You see all those tabs? That was first read tabs. I don't ever tab on the first read. So, what does that tell you? Anyways, this follows Waverly, and Waverly's parents are going off on some work trip, so they ship her from where she lives in Alaska to spend the summer with her aunt in Florida. So she goes there and she doesn't know what to do. It's hot. She's not used to that. She doesn't know how to swim. And then she meets the neighbor guy, Blake. He is a jerk to her. He's not very nice. And then he's a lifeguard, and she befriends some people there, and she gets caught up in all this, but she pretends that she can swim because she feels like an idiot because they're all swimming on the beach and all this stuff. But then she ends up getting lessons from Blake. Yeah. Enough said. The greatest of all time, the book that got me into reading the most. Better than the movies. Wes Bennett. Mr. She Isn't You Bennett. AKA the standard for bookmen, in my opinion. Anyways, this is the best YA book boyfriend you will find. So, better than the movies. You're following Liz Buxbaum, and she lost her mom. She doesn't know what to do without her mom, and it's prom season. You hear that thunder? It's prom season, and she wants to go to prom with her old crush who just moved back to town. So, what does she do? Bargains with her neighbor that she does not like, Wes, to kind of fake date him to get her crush Michael's attention so that Michael will ask her to prom. Yeah. So I guess this is more of like a spring book since prom is spring, but I read this in summer and it was perfect. Read it 3 times. It just got announced it's becoming a movie, and I'm telling you, I almost passed out and died. So when I heard that, so you need to read it before it comes out. And I have this beautiful edition. Like, she's stunning. Like, I don't usually buy special editions of books I already own, but with this being my favorite book and all, I might have splurged when it came out. So yeah, please read this. Please read this. Although I don't want to share Wes with you, you need to read it. I have The Outsiders. I read this twice. I'll never get over it. I love it with all my soul. Annotated it. This follows Ponyboy, and it's a very complex story. There's a lot happening. Not too much of a plot, really, but so entertaining, so good, so sad. But Ponyboy is a greaser. Greasers are looked at as like scum, the lower end, poor, trashy in this town, and then the Socs are like the rich, fancy people, and they like beat up and rob the greasers. So something bad happens, and Ponyboy and his friend have to flee the town, and it's just them following this friend group of greasers and this life, and it's so good. Stay gold. Have Dog Person. Now, if you want to be depressed, read this book. That's not good marketing. That's not good marketing for you to read this, but if you're like me, you love painful books, and you love books that make you feel something, and if you want a book like that, pick up Dog Person. This book is entirely following a dog named Harold, and his owner passed away a year ago, Amelia, and he is left with her boyfriend, Miguel, and her dying wish was, I know this is going to destroy Miguel. Harold, please help him find happiness again. Help him find someone to live the rest of his days with. Help him become happy again. And Harold is trying to do this. He's aging. His time is almost up, so it's his last mission in life to help Miguel become happy again. And Miguel owns this bookstore that him and his girlfriend used to own, and it's going under quite a bit. Obviously there's a woman that comes in, and such a heartwarming, beautiful story. I love Harold with all my heart, and I could cry a little bit if I think about it too hard, but such a beautiful, bookish book. So definitely pick it up. And I feel like it's definitely summer vibes because he talks about it being so hot all the time. So yeah. And don't get mad at me. I have to include my own book. I have to include my own book in here. So if you are new here, I wrote a book. It's called Risk It All, and it's on Amazon, and you can purchase it there on Amazon. So definitely check it out. I'll link it in the description. Anyways, but if you know, you know it is a winter book. But at the end, the epilogue, per se, is in summer. So if you read the whole thing and then get to the end, it's summer then. So be well worth it. Or if you don't care about reading summer books in summer or winter books in winter, and you just read whenever, then you won't have a problem reading a winter book in summer. And yeah, what does it matter? Anyways, I know there's seasonal readers out there, so whatever you want, but this follows Peter and Samantha. It is dual point of view, and one day Samantha falls, hits her head, and all of a sudden can see germs. And Peter, he's terminally ill. He has a very rare disease, and he is going to die very, very soon. But they're taking all the precautions that he can, and he's trying to get better. But the only catch is he can't be exposed to germs or anything, or he will die even faster. So she can see germs. He can't be by germs. So yeah, and that's that. You can get your copy on Amazon for as cheap as possible. So, go get it. We have another book that will make you depressed. Wings of Starlight. This is for all girls who were obsessed with the Tinkerbell movies as a kid, and love fairies, and love magic, or if you don't like any of that stuff, pick this up and it will open a whole new fandom, whole new world for you. So, Wings of Starlight. Annotated heavily. This follows Clarion. She is the fairy training to be the new queen of Pixie Hollow. Now, Pixie Hollow is separated into 4 types of fairies. The summer fairies, the spring fairies, the fall fairies, and the winter fairies. Now, all the warm seasons do not talk to winter. And basically, all the seasons of the fairies control the humans' seasons. So if, say, summer gets behind on preparing like crops and stuff, then summer in the human world goes behind and it doesn't start. You see that lightning? It's storming. If you don't know anything about fairies, hopefully that makes sense. But so it's following Clarion, and she's training to be the new queen of Pixie Hollow, and all of a sudden these monsters start coming out of the winter woods and putting all these fairies into this like sleep that no one knows how to get them out of. Sorry about the thunder. So she starts going to the winter border and in secret, because she's not allowed to, but she goes there in secret and she meets none other than Mallory, the warden of the winter woods, and it goes from there. And I could ball. It is gorgeous, though. They're planning on, I think they're doing summer in the book, so. Then we have The Rose Bargain. This is so good. This duology is so good. Recently, the second one came out, The Thorn Queen, and I read that before it was out. A perfect duology. If you like The Cruel Prince and you like the selection, you'll like this. If you don't know about either of those books, then I'll tell you about this one. So this follows Ivy, and Ivy has just become of age. She's just turned 18. And when you turn 18 in this world, you get to go to the queen, and she will grant you one bargain. So say you want prettier hair. You want anything, basically. She'll grant you it for a price. So she'll take your pinky finger, you won't be able to turn left ever again, you can't eat this certain thing again, like all this stuff. So it's Ivy's turn to do something like that. And then at the bargain, where all the 18-year-olds go, the queen announces that her son wants to get married, so one of the girls in the room is going to get married to him. And so then the girls start competing for this guy's hand in marriage. Yeah. So it follows that, and I love this. I read it on vacation. Very good book. Very whimsical. It's fae. So if you don't know what fae is, it's like humans, but they have magic, and they could have like deer antlers, or they could have blue skin, like just stuff like that. That's not real. So yeah, Miss Ivy Benton is human, and there may or may not be another brother. Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. Now, I watched the movie when it came out, and I was obsessed. So I watched the movie, instantly bought the book, instantly read the book, then rewatched the movie, and they're both exceptional, so you can either read the book or watch the movie. They're basically the same. There's only a few more details in the book that you miss, but that's the case with all movies, all book to movie / show adaptations, because obviously you're in the character's head most of the time in books, and then you go to the show and they're just showing you what they're doing and not what they're thinking, so that's bound to happen. But book, 5 stars, amazing, beautiful, stunning. Everybody hates on people for reading Colleen Hoover. Like, I don't exactly understand why, but it's the only book I read by her. I don't really plan on reading anymore, but just don't hate on people for what they read, honestly. Just let them do them and you do you. But anyways, so this follows Clara and her mother Morgan, and there's this tragic accident where Clara's aunt and dad get killed in a car accident. Morgan, which is her mom, and her uncle, basically, they're figuring out exactly why their significant others were together when they died, and trying to keep that secret from Clara. And Clara is also sneaking around with this guy, and it's so messy and it's so good, and it's so good. So please read this. It's so much more than it seems. It is a beautiful, complex story. I feel like I'm saying complex a lot today. Am I? I don't know. But yeah, beautiful book. Have to recommend Just Friends by Haley Pham. My fellow booktuber, and her debut novel, and as someone who just also published their debut novel, gotta support. But this book is definitely very summery. It's cute, it's good, it's very cute, it's very good. It battles grief very well. And yeah, it's not the best, it's not an exceptional romance book. It's not the best romance book I ever read, but it's definitely an amazing debut book. So I definitely recommend picking it out. I definitely recommend checking it out. But this follows Blair and Glenn, but I think you just get Blair's POV, and it jumps back and forth in timelines, basically them falling in love in high school, and then what happened, why they broke up and split up and never really talked to each other again. Very good book. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, or Jimenez, I don't know. And A Moment for the Cover, gorgeous. This is my only Abby Jimenez book I've read, but I do plan on rereading this one this summer, along with the first two in this series, because I haven't read those, and now I want to, that I've read this one. But this follows Justin and Emma, and they have this problem. Every time they date someone, when they break up with the person they were dating, that person goes off and finds their forever person. So they're online, or Justin's online posting about this problem that he has, and her friend sees it and is like, oh my gosh, Emma, he has the same problem as you. You guys need to date for a little bit, break up, and then they'll cancel each other out. So what do? Exactly that. So they're gonna date just for the summer and then break up. Does it work out that way? Can't do a summer recommendations video without recommending the summer book, The Summer I Turned Pretty. So I have a bone to pick with you. I've read these books twice, I think. Yeah, twice. Whenever I reread a book, I put the dates that I've read it in the front. Anyway, so The Summer I Turned Pretty, a classic in my eyes. But this follows Belly, and Belly has turned pretty. And every summer, she goes to her mom's best friend Susanna's beach house with Susanna's two sons, Conrad and Jeremiah. Now, Belly has always had eyes for Conrad, and this summer, the brothers finally notice her. So then, it's a love triangle, obviously. It's a trilogy. You can read all three. Very good books. But, I don't know, they're kind of, like, I'm not going to reread them again, I don't think, at least not anytime soon. But the show's really good, too. But, yeah, they're definitely geared toward a younger audience. Like, first time I read them, I really, really loved them. They were really, really good. Second time I read them, I knew what was going to happen, and it was kind of like, not as good to reread. So, if you know nothing about this series, I definitely recommend going in blind, besides what I just told you, and you'll probably have a better experience. I just don't know if they're reread books, but yeah, some really pretty, beautiful covers. I have a different edition of it up there. You can't really see, but yeah, it's sort of pretty. Then we have Picking Daisies on Sundays. Now, this isn't necessarily a summer book, but it's so cute that I had to recommend it. And I'm so happy for Leanna King-Coddy because she just got traditionally published, which is amazing to see independently published authors get picked up by traditionally published publishing companies. So, yeah, I have the independently published copy, so that's really cool. But, yeah, so now that she's making it big, this could be worth something. But I don't really care about that. But this cover is so cute to die for. But this follows Levi and Daniela, and they used to be best friends, and kind of fell apart. And I can't remember if they used to be more, or what. Oh, okay. She was in love with Levi, and when she confessed it, he turned her down, and then they never really spoke again. And now they see each other again, and it becomes this fake dating whole ordeal. And I really need to reread this because my friend just read it, and now it's traditionally published, and everybody's talking about it. And I'm like, I don't really recall what happened. Like, I know what happened, but I'm like, I think I need to reread it. So that might be in store this summer as well. But such a cute book. In my review, I wrote, it's just as cute as the cover. And I literally hysterically cried to this, and it wasn't even sad. I cried to a absolutely heartwarming, cutest scene ever. I just bawled, and I don't do that. I don't cry unless it's something absolutely devastatingly horrible in books. Like, I have to be very, very, very connected to the characters and care about them so much, and then if something bad happens, I'll cry. But, like, nothing bad happened. I don't know why I cried, but I did. So, yeah, definitely read this. Levi is so cute. The stack is dwindling down. This is the book that got me into reading The Kissing Booth. Now, this is so much better than the movie. If you've seen the movie and you didn't like it, give the book a shot. The book is so much better. So my cousin was giving me this, and then I read it, and I've been addicted to reading ever since. So it's so good. But it follows Elle, and she has been best friends with Lee since birth. They have been inseparable since birth, and they have only one rule for each other in their friendship: you cannot date my family, basically. So, like, they can't date each other's siblings, they can't date each other's cousins, like, stuff like that. Well, Elle likes Lee's brother, Noah, and so they may or may not start dating behind Lee's back. So, yeah, and there's kissing booth involved. It's a whole thing. Then we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Now, I first read this. When I first read this, I didn't love it, and I was really surprised by that. And so then I put off the rest of the series. But when I picked up the second book, Reckless, I was blown away. I was hooked. It was so good. I jumped into Fearless. Fearless was so good. And then I'm thinking back on this one, I'm like, well, that was actually really good too. I feel like when I read this book, I wasn't in my fantasy era yet, if that makes sense. Like, it was a good book. It just wasn't the time for it. And thinking back on it now, I really, really loved it. I just didn't know it. That doesn't make any sense, but hopefully you catch my drift in what I'm trying to say. But this follows Peyton and Kai, and Peyton is powerless in a world full of elites. And the elites, the people with powers, they kill the people that don't have powers because they're convinced that the powerless will drain them of their power somehow. So yeah, Peyton is in the slums. She's poor. She doesn't have any money. She basically steals to survive. And then Kai is the prince of this kingdom, and he is the enforcer, the person that kills all the powerless. So yeah, she's chunky. It was so good, and this cover is beautiful as well. We have the We Were Liars duology. Is that how you say that? Duology? Why am I second guessing myself? Anyways, We Were Liars and Family of Liars. This past summer, the We Were Liars show came out, which was exceptional. It's like they added so much more detail and it got even better, and I love the book anyway. But We Were Liars follows Cadence. Cadence had an accident when she was 15 at Martha's Vineyard. Love Martha's Vineyard. Even though I've never been there, visiting in my books is exceptional. Anyways, Cadence had an accident, and she can't remember what happened. Now, she's going back to the island for the first time since everything that happened. And it's her revisiting everything, trying to figure it out for herself, because every time she asks what happened, no one will tell her. So she's with her cousins. There's whole romance mystery, just her figuring out what happened to her, and it is devastating. So another one if you want to be sad. And then Family of Liars follows that. It follows a different character. It jumps into the past, but I can't say much about that one without spoiling this one. So yeah, I recommend going into this as blind as you can. Do not look up anything online or you'll get spoiled for yourself very easily. Yeah, amazing summer books. They're so short as well, so very easy to fly through in a summer day. And last but not least, The Summer She Went Missing. Thriller, mystery. This was so good. Literally so good. I wouldn't be recommending it to you if it wasn't, so I don't know why I keep saying that. This follows a girl. I'm not good with names, especially with thrillers. Follows a girl, and she goes to, this is kind of Summer I Turn Pretty vibes if it was a thriller. Every summer they go to this river house with their family friends, and the one summer her sister goes missing, and the next summer her sister's still missing. So her and her family friend start trying to figure out what happened to her sister. Is she alive? Is she dead? Where is she? What happened? And also a romance. So good. But yeah, those are all the books. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some good recommendations out of this. Definitely comment down below if you've read any of these. If you are going to, I'd love to see your thoughts. But yeah, and hopefully you didn't mind that I film it at night in kind of wonky lighting, and that I'm in my pajamas. Yeah, I hope you got some good recommendations for this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out my book, Risk It All, on Amazon. Link in description, even though it's not technically a summer book. But yeah, I love you all so much, and I like this video if you like to, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.